Hello, and welcome to the chaos that is today. So I was going to do a face introduction for this video, but I don't got time for that. Got stuff to do, places to be, and my cat wouldn't stop harassing me. Just kidding, he's a good boy. So, introduction. This piece was done for the 2021 Collab Lab Art Challenge Inner Dialogue, which was run by the lovely Rafi Klee for their Patreon patrons, of which I am one. If you don't know who Rafi and Klee are, then I'd highly recommend checking them out. They're lovely people and have created their own community of rogue artists, or in other words, artists who go against the flow of conformity and make their own creative path. Which I guess means me. Woo! The parameters for this challenge were as follows. Parameter 1. The subject matter, style, and medium can be anything you choose to depict the theme. Parameter 2. Represent the duality of the Stickman, negative internal voice, and the champion, positive internal voice, in your mind. Parameter 3. Keep the observer in mind, either by zooming the lens out and representing yourself as the observer, or by creating a composition that pulls an observer in. So those are the parameters that we have to work with. So let's get into the piece, shall we? The first thought I had for this challenge was that I wanted to incorporate an eye somehow. Then I thought about what could represent the Stickman and the champion, and my mind instantly went to some sort of sword fight, because of course it did. It might have been because I've been pinning a lot of really cool D&D fight scenes lately on Pinterest. In my free time, I'm usually world building Catonia, which is my homebrew D&D setting, which is just basically a bunch of cats and cat things and other stuff, and, NPCs wearing cool armor. And I have way too many boards on Pinterest. You would not even believe your eyes. Oh my gosh. But anyways, for the Stickman, I really wanted to encapsulate. Yep, I think I'm using that correctly. I wanted to encapsulate all of the negative thoughts that run across my mind during the creative process. Just, take it all and morph it into a character. I debated between drawing an angrier face, but then I decided that a more taunting, menacing look would fit her better. So the Stickman character is smiling here, but it's clearly not like a positive smile. It's more like a slinging insult smile, or a sneaking sneer, if you will. As I was drawing her, she started to remind me of that one character from Danny Phantom. You know, the one with the guitar. I don't know. I think it's the thicker lines that form her lips that give me those vibes, but have not seen that show in probably over a decade, so I have no idea how that happened. Onto the champion character. I also struggled with what the expression should be for her. I thought about doing a more confident smile or a shouting, righteous expression like, "Be gone!" But I decided to do defensive, frustrated, just tears streaming down the face, because I feel like that's a more accurate representation of myself fighting against the negativity. Because for me, this inner dialogue during the creative process is much more like a battle or like a war waging on internally than just a conversation. Both of these armored outfits were really fun to design. I wanted to make sure that they were different enough so it wasn't very difficult to tell the two characters apart. I also wanted the Stickman character to look a little bit more rough and disheveled than the champion character to further emphasize their differences. So the Stickman's hair is disheveled and a bit unkempt. Half of the face is covered up by the hair. The single eye is peeking out almost in a dare, like, "Come at me, bro. Fight me. I dare you." I really enjoyed drawing the armored plates on the champion in particular. Something about the shape is just really nice and somewhat satisfying to draw. Also, side note, some parts of this footage got a bit blurry. Don't really know what happened there. I was recording this on my tablet, so that might have had something to do with it. But just so you know, it's me. It's not your device. Don't worry. But anywho, I wanted the champion character to look a bit more neat and tidy than the Stickman character. So her hair is braided back, which was an unexpected challenge to draw, and her eyes are shut in a sort of frustrated concentration. Her armor is made to have more of a defense than the armor of the Stickman character, which presumes that the champion has to be much more on guard against being attacked, while the Stickman character is the one initiating the attacks. I also really enjoy drawing the champion's armored boots. There's something about boots that really add an extra element to a character. Whenever I see a character wearing boots, no matter what kind, I know that they're going to be having all sorts of adventures and just getting up to mischief in general. Or maybe I'm just not a fan of drawing toes. Probably both. For the outfit of the Stickman character, I took a little inspiration from some ninja/general anime armor, particularly the shoulder pads, arm guards, and the sash belt, and kind of the sword, but not really. Also, designing and drawing this giant hunk of a sword was a very fun process. If you're ever bored, or maybe you have art block, or you just want to procrastinate, I would highly recommend just drawing different types of swords. The more outrageous and obnoxious, the better. Ooh, coloring! Coloring was fun. I think one of the most satisfying things for me when I'm drawing digitally is when I'm all finished with the line art and I get to start creating my color palettes and just plop down color everywhere. It was especially fun creating the color palettes for this piece because each side of the pupil has its own look. So the Stickman character is all grays and blue grays, which gives it a more brooding, negative Nancy kind of vibe. While the champion character, albeit crying, is a bit more natural looking. The skin is much healthier looking than the sickly gray skin of the Stickman. The armor has shades of green, which hint at growth and prosperity. Also, green is my favorite color. And note the small linings of silver, which represent that the champion character is strong yet malleable, able to withstand much, but may still be shaped into something magnificent. Kinda like a sword. While coloring this, I thought it might be fun if the champion had a drawing pen stylus as the blade portion of the sword to represent creativity and art. I typically draw on my Samsung tablet, so I modeled the blade after my S Pen, which is basically an Apple Pencil but for Samsung. See, it has the little nub and the little oval button on the side of the pen. This is where I should probably talk about the eye part of the piece. I don't really have much to say about it, other than it's an eye. One could say that the champion and the Stickman are in the eye of the beholder, but that would be ridiculous, so I'm not going to say that. I will say that I used some watercolor brushes for coloring in the eye because I thought it would make a fun texture, and boy howdy, do I not remember how watercolor works. Or at least digital watercolor. It kind of makes me want to attempt to do some watercolor shenanigans IRL. Although, I don't have any watercolors at my disposal right now. But that's what stores are for, I suppose. Perhaps a future video idea. Side note, I feel like I don't really understand how watercolor works as a person. Like, what do you mean you gotta save the highlights for first? I thought highlights came last. What do you mean I can't do the cute little white dots with acrylic paint like I do with that? What do you mean? This is an outrage. Don't get me wrong, watercolor is gorgeous, and I have the utmost respect for those who create art using that medium. Y'all are beautiful. I think it's like playing the piano. Some people get it, and some people don't. And that's okay, because you can still enjoy the pretty music, like you can still enjoy the beautiful artwork, and there are also other instruments that you can try, or you can sing. Singing's good too. Especially if it's in the car on a road trip or just going to work. Overall, I'm really happy with how these two characters turned out. The one on the left gives me major D&D vibes, like very, very D&D vibes. And the one on the right gives me some anime vibes, like maybe a cool villain or something. Also, this piece is called The Internal Struggle, and I mostly just wanted to draw a sword fight. So thank you for watching me draw a sword fight for the past few minutes. I appreciate you, even if you just skipped to this part. Thanks for showing up today. I have some links down below to my social media and shops and whatever else the heck I'm up to lately, so feel free to go and check those out. Or whatever you want to do, and I will see y'all later. Bye!